Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. We are dealing with a little bit of an issue. Good morning, everyone. Got some fun news for you. Today is Monday, September 15th, 2025. This is episode 962 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, two thumbs, all smiles, slightly dealing with chaos, Dr. Gerald Auger. And over the next hour, me, you, Yakota Strong, not only IT, Code Brew, Anthony S. All right, Anthony S. pointing out that our numbering and indexing of the show numbers is all sorts of jacked up, so we will get a look at that. You'll notice that the thumbnail is all sorts of pixelated. But we're going to get you sorted out, guys. If you're new here, welcome to the party. If you're not new here, you know what we're doing and what we're all about. Over the next hour, we're going to be going through the top cyber news stories of the day with the entire intent of enabling you to be a better practitioner by staying current on the top cyber news stories of the day. And then I like to apply my 20 years of experience alongside many of the Simply Cyber community members in chat to go beyond the headlines and deliver additional value, additional insights, and just, professional development opportunities that you would not get in a classroom or in a textbook. So that's what we're doing here. Anthony S., thank you for the shout out on the numbering convention. We'll take a look at that, see if it's sorted out correctly. Guys, you'll notice that the thumbnail's all sorts of messed up. Here's what's happened. In order to free up some space on my computer this weekend, Justin Gold was there. I went ahead and desynced my OneDrive from desynced OneDrive from my main computer. Well, the problem is all the graphics that I use for the show are on my OneDrive. So as soon as I launched my, macros, oh my God, all my macros to spin up the day, none are there. So it's just a bunch of nonsense. So we got you sorted out, guys. If today's your first episode, thank you, Elliot and Matish. Yes, I've got my junior analyst face on today, clean shaven. Oh my God, guys, if today's your first episode, holler at you. Drop a hashtag first timer in chat, hashtag first timer in chat. Did a lot of work this weekend, which is why I'm all kind of out of sorts. Had some fun, heavy work, heavy play, all about good times. I hope you yourself either got to relax or you put in some good effort if you had to work. Either way, you're here now and we're ready to rock and roll. Every single episode of the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE. So say what's up in chat. I'm just going to do it this way. Say what's up in chat. Grab a screenshot. DP's in here. KP's in here. Just say what's up in chat. Grab a screenshot. File it away once a year. Count those screenshots. Divide by 2. It's as easy as that. And yeah, you're off and running on a beautiful Monday morning. Now, before we get into it, I do want to say shout out and love to the stream sponsors, those who enable me to bring you such activities as Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week, which I don't have a graphic for today. It also allows me to bring this show to you every single day. Hey, Robert Hendrickson. What's up, AA Witherspoon? Jesse Johnson getting up early this morning. Yes, sir. You know what? I hope this, personally, I hope this just reflects to everybody that even when it's not perfect, even though it's not 100%, still lean forward, get it done, right? So like this graphic right here, not exactly how I'd like it to look. That's okay. You know what's important? Showing up, doing the best I can with what I got. All right, let's talk about the stream sponsors, though. Those who enable me to bring this show to you, starting with Delete Me. There it is, Delete Me, guys. Let me tell you about Delete Me really quick. I actually have a banger of a video coming out. It's oh, Jesus. It's in like a new style. I hope you guys like it. It comes out this Thursday. It's like very moody and very like real true crime drama looking. Inabe Udokeng, welcome to the party, pal. Hey, if you're a squad member, Inibehe is the first name. Let's go ahead and welcome Inabehe to the chat. Welcome to the party.
Welcome to the party, pal.
All right, guys. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. It's easier than ever to find personal information about people online. Having your address, phone number, and family members' names hanging out on the internet can actually have real-world consequences and make everyone vulnerable. As someone with an active online presence, privacy is really important to me. I have wife, I have children, they are at my home. I like my privacy, even though I live in a community where my neighbors are basically on top of me. I could do without that. Fine neighbors, but, I like privacy both in real life and online. And Delete Me helps me manage that. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber. Use promo code simplycyber at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber. Enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber. Code simplycyber. Thank you very much, Delete Me. Also want to say shout out to Barricade Cyber Solutions. You guys know Barricade Cyber Solutions. With their Fortify 365 solution, go to fortify365.com today. If you are running a Microsoft 365 environment and you haven't taken advantage of the configuration capabilities that come by default, you've already paid for them and you're not using them, you're literally taking on additional risk for no reason. Get on the phone with Eric Taylor and the team at Fortify Barricade Cyber and basically see how they can help you. Guys, it's like the Ronco of security settings. You set it once and then it's in practice working to protect you going forward. Don't be the reason a data breach happens, a ransomware attack, whatever. Get your M365 environment secured and hardened today. Oh my God, B-Sides Krakow. Holy crap. Did you know that anti-siphon training is going to Krakow? Did not know that. Guys, anti-siphon training is disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training institution by offering high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, regardless of financial position. And I want to let you guys know, hey, listen, if you are literally working, looking for a job right now, whether you are currently employed or you're, why is this not loading? Whether you're currently employed or you're looking to break into cybersecurity, this free workshop tomorrow with Jason Blanchard, this guy right here, he's a wonderful human being. Like, seriously, this guy cares, and he definitely epitomizes community and service. And he's putting on this live workshop training, hunt for a job like a hacker, using all sorts of OSINT techniques and other capabilities that we have at our disposal as practitioners to turn that lens at the job market. You don't want to miss this. Jason Blanchard, wonderful human, and also delivering value. Go ahead and check that out. Thank you very much, Jason and Anti-Siphon Training. As always, there's my pixelated face. Guys, we're about to get into it, so do me a favor. Let's hear from ThreatLocker, and then we're going to be shredding the news. It is Monday, which means it's Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week. I do not have the graphic to show that, but believe me, it is there. Let's hear from ThreatLocker and then get going. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber. All right. Let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome wave. I'll see you guys at the mid-roll.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Monday, September 15th, 2025. I'm Steve Prentice. Shiny Hunters hits Vietnam National Credit Information Center. The attack was confirmed by the Vietnam Cyber Emergency Response Team, and Security's Hunter team was able to acquire samples of leaked data, much of which is connected to other financial institutions in Vietnam. This attack is believed to be an exploit of an end-day vulnerability, quote, a known but unpatched flaw in end-of-life software used by the Credit Information Center. Because the software was no longer supported, no security patches were available, leaving the system especially vulnerable, end quote. Shiny Hunters did not extort the bank, but simply listed the data for sale on a dark web forum. Hybrid pet.
That's interesting. So, Shiny Hunters is like currently one of these. I want to say prolific. Maybe that's a little too strong, but one of these very active, very effective. It's believed that the actors who are part of this gang are young, like i.e. like 18 to 26 years old. And they've been hitting everyone all over the place to great effect. Now, they are part of the COM, which is like Shiny Hunters, Lapsus, and Scattered Spider, I believe. So it's like this loose affiliation of like-minded, similar age practitioners, cyber criminals that are hitting whoever and anyone. Now, what's interesting is the Vietnamese, major bank here, the National Credit Information Center. So maybe it's not a bank, but gets hit, and they didn't ransomware them. They just exfilled their data. So and posted it on a dark web. So this is kind of different than their normal practice, right? So typically, threat actors are going to have, they're like any other human, right? They're going to have patterns and behaviors and such. And this one kind of breaks that. Normally they would ransomware this gang. I'm not quite sure why. Oh, good. Why am I getting a pop-up saying that I need to free up space? This is not good. So what does this mean? Software was low. Wait. They exploited an end day. Okay, so just for everyone's edification, end day. All this means is they exploited a vulnerability that could be patched. Like it makes it sound way cooler and way sexier, but essentially there was a known vulnerability. It could have been one that we talked about last month, where I said, "Oh, you got to patch it." You got to patch it. They exploited some open vulnerability that's known. That wasn't patched, basically. Okay. Ooh. Oh, I guess in this instance, let me qualify this then, because maybe my definition of end day is moderately needs updating. So there is no patch for this. There will be no patch for this because it's an end of life software. All right. This is why you don't want to run end of life software, because you don't receive updates, you don't receive patches. I will say very seldomly, and I've only seen Microsoft do this, very seldomly, depending on grave situations, will a vendor patch an end of life software. The last one I remember is essentially Microsoft patching the Eternal Blue SMB vulnerability for Windows XP and Windows 7. Or maybe just Windows XP, simply because it was like so rampant being exploited by threat actors that they needed to. Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is, guys. TLDR, patch your stuff and hope for the best. Now, the fact that they didn't dump ransomware makes me think that they either... my first thought, honestly, had to go to language. Like, I'm sure this was in Vietnamese, so I don't know if Shiny Hunters has the capability within their arsenal to read or speak Vietnamese. and deal with the negotiations of the ransomware activity. I don't know. I mean, with AI, and you saw the new Apple earbuds that can like do real-time translation. So I don't even know. But anyways, patch your stuff. All right.
Yeah. Is a Petya not Petya copycat with UEFI secure boot bypass. According to a post in We Live Security from ESET Research, hybrid Petya, in addition to being a copycat, now adds, quote, the capability of compromising UEFI-based systems and weaponizing a CVE-numbered flaw to bypass UEFI secure boot on outdated systems, end quote. This new ransomware was uploaded to VirusTotal this past February and, quote, encrypts the master file table, which contains important metadata about all the files on NTFS formatted partitions, end quote. ESET has seen no signs of hybrid Petya being used in the wild yet and says it does not exhibit the aggressive network propagation seen in the original not Petya. CISA.
All right, so this is not good. So this isn't good, okay? So really quick, NotPetya is a really famous piece of malware. NotPetya is a wiper virus that was used by Russia and basically weaponized to hurt Ukraine. It famously breached containment and impacted lots of businesses that were not Ukrainian businesses, notably Mondelez, and which is like a snack food giant, and a Maersk, like super shipping. Like if you see like if you look out in the harbor right now, wherever you are, if you can look out into a harbor, you likely can see shipping containers, and they probably say Maersk on the side of them. That is two large companies that got hit. In fact, it actually turned into quite a situation, precedent setting for the cyber insurance industry with Zurich International. Really quick. Who knew you were going to get a history lesson today, huh? Maersk. Look at this. Yeah. $1.4 billion, I think, to the tune. Maersk suffered $300 million. Yeah, you can see here. April 2019. Big companies thought, oh my God, New York Times with the paywall. There we go. Basically, it turned into this situation where it was considered an act of war, and the insurance companies were like, we don't cover acts of war. And Maersk and Mondelez were like, the hell you do? This wasn't an act of war. We're like collateral damage. And it really turned into a hot mess express. So if you're into like the insurance side of cybersecurity, which is a very small niche of us, this was like a landmark incident. Okay, so what does this mean for you and I today? Well, NotPetya was very, very effective, but it was weaponized in a way to kind of attempt to control itself. It was pushed through a Ukrainian QuickBooks-like application called MyDocs, and it looked at the keyboard to make sure what language it was in. It did make some effort, but it got out. It's nasty business. This will wipe your master boot table or master file table, your master boot record. Essentially, make it so like when you go to boot up you know how when you boot the computer up, your Windows machine, you get the black screen first, like your BIOS. It's like, oh, it's running some stuff. And then all of a sudden you get the Windows splash page. That part where the black is happening is your basic, like your motherboard's firmware operating system kind of looking at the master boot record and seeing where the initial files are to launch the operating system of, Windows or your main operating system. And then it goes there. So if that gets screwed up, guess what? You're not even getting out of the driveway, right? Essentially, like, you know how I do love analogies. This would be the equivalent of like, you get in your car in your garage and then you push the garage door opener button, right? Maybe you have 3 garage doors. So you push the one that's commensurate with the door behind your car. Door opens up and then you back out and you're off and driving to work or driving wherever. This malware right here wipes your garage door opener completely out. Like your garage door opener no longer exists, right? So then you get in your car and that's it. You're not getting out of the garage, right? And let's not play the game where you throw it in like reverse and you just drive through your garage door. That's dumb. Like what I'm saying is pretty much an analogical, and it's an analogy for what's actually happening. The fact that it's not being exploited in the wild is great, but the fact that it was seen on VirusTotal is bad. That means it's being developed. Someone's got it. It does exploit this known vulnerability. This is key to understand. So if you don't want to be targeted by this one, what is this? Why does it say that I'm not using the right file name convention? Oh, I guess Eric's tool is expecting a 5-digit CVE identifier. Hold on 1 second. Let's go to DJ BSEC. You guys remember DJ BSEC? Here we go. Why does this not look right? CVE 2024-7344. Okay, CVE, I'll do it manually. 2024-7344. I don't know why that didn't work. All right, this is going to take a second. So this is DJ BSEC's tool. I'm going to drop a link to it in chat. Very effective. With vulnerabilities, it's always nice to know the CVSS score as well as the EPSS score. The CVSS tells you like more about how it could be, like what the vulnerability is and what it would be exploited. The EPSS score tells you the likelihood of exploitation. So let's give that a second. While that's happening, we'll go ahead and CVE 2024. The fact that it says 2024 means it's last year's vulnerability. Dude, what the hell? Oh my God. When this is one of those days, guys, I might have to call it right after the stream. I might have to call it and then go back to bed because everything's kind of like, I feel like Atreyu trying to pull D'Artagnan through the mud in Neverending Story. That's an incredible deep cut, okay? But if you've seen Neverending Story, when Atreyu loses his horse to the nothing, like in the mud, it's a very devastating, emotional scene. That's how I feel with today's show. Like I'm trying to do the show, and it's like everything I'm doing is like just Roswell UK providing value here. EPSS score 0.1%. CVSS score 8.2 out of 10. Okay, so it doesn't seem highly likely that you would be impacted by this, but certainly I would not flirt with this if you can get this patched. I don't even understand what technology is getting exploited. That's like how messed up this is right now. Like, what technology is this? Auger UEFI application? The hell is that? See, here's the thing. With stuff like this, like, where is this being deployed? Like, is this in a Dell machine? All right, they have it. Red Hat has a customer portal, so if you're running Red Hat Linux, it could be there. Like, I don't know, man. Whenever you're looking at vulnerabilities and you're like getting concerned whether or not it needs to be exploited, you need to understand if this is in your environment or not. Look at this. There's actually there's an exploit available. It's just not being used in this NotPetya hybrid like thing. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's in a UEFI application signed by Microsoft certs, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily in your technology stack. Here we go. Yep. Okay, so like Greenware, Radex, Sanfong, Weisei. I've never heard of these, so I don't really know where these go. All right, we got a little bit of graphic. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I guess what I would say is patch your stuff. If you need firmware patching, just, it's a little bit more tricky to patch firmware, but not impossible.
Officials call on lawmakers to extend cyber information sharing law. A top CISA official, Nick Anderson, CISA's Executive Assistant Director for Cybersecurity, speaking at the Billington Cybersecurity Summit in Washington, says he is urging Congress to renew the 2015 Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act before it expires on September 30th.
Oh my God.
The law encourages private companies to voluntarily share threat intelligence with the government. Renewal legislation has advanced in the House but has yet to reach a full vote, while the Senate is only beginning to circulate its own version led by Homeland Security Committee Chair Rand Paul. With limited time left, lawmakers may extend the measure temporarily by attaching it to a short-term government funding bill to prevent disruption.
Okay, I mean, this story is fine. CISA's asking lawmakers to extend this info sharing act. Dude, they talked about this last week. This was like roundly accepted from bipartisanship lawmakers around it being a good idea. This is a renewal of existing basically existing legislation. It came under a different name. Yeah, you can see here. While renewal legislation dubbed the Widespread Information Management for the Welfare of Infrastructure and Government Act, I almost wonder if that's like a backronym, WIMWIG, WIMWIG Act, the WIMWIG. By the way, if you've worked in federal government ever, like backronyms is a whole thing. Like you have a cool acronym like Laser Talon, and then they'll figure out a way to make Laser Talon the name of the bill so they can make it sound cool, or make the name of like the Marine Corps project or whatever. Backronyms. There's a D'Artagnan was a musketeer. What was the name of the horse? Atreus horse then. Atreus horse. Hold on. Artax. All right. Artax. I'm sorry. Thank you. See, this is what I appreciate. I appreciate being making corrections. Okay, this is the scene right here. Okay, Artax. This is a really, like, seriously, if you haven't seen this is classic. Oh my God, this is totally on brand. There's me. This is the show. I'm Atreyu. The show is Artax, and this this swampy mud mire right here is the meta of what's going on with the show today. I can't quite explain it, but it's a hot mess express. And thank you, Brews and Hacks. All right. I can't even. Okay. So anyways, I would expect this to get approved and go forward. Hopefully lawmakers are not weaponizing this in some way. Like, oh, you got to do something for me before I vote this in. Information sharing at the U.S. Federal government level is super valuable. We have these closed system information sharing factions, basically, like ISACs, information sharing analysis centers, but also many of us are involved in different kind of closed group, like TLP Amber, TLP Red, TLP Shut the F Up, right there. And basically it's because of information sharing like this. The U.S. federal government is getting hit often. The U.S. federal government has insights and wide-reaching telemetry. U.S. federal government has relationships with CrowdStrike, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, etc., to be able to have the kind of like side channel information sharing that can be disseminated down. This is why CISA's known exploited vulnerability catalog is informed and not just speculation. So I would hope that this is going to continue to be supported. And I would be stunned if this wasn't. They have a September 30th deadline to approve it. I would be stunned if this wasn't approved and moved forward.
Great Firewall suffers its biggest leak ever. On September 11th, researchers, quote, confirmed that more than 500 gigabytes of internal documents, source code, work logs, and internal communications from the so-called Great Firewall were dumped online, including packaging repos and operational runbooks used to build and maintain China's national traffic filtering system, end quote. This leak exposed details of Tangzhou, a commercial censorship platform developed by Chinese firm Gige. Originally built on HP and Dell servers and later on Chinese hardware, Tangzhou functions as a turnkey, great firewall in a box. Deployment records show it was installed across 26 data centers in Myanmar, capable of handling 81 million simultaneous TCP connections and integrated at national exchange points for large-scale blocking and filtering. Additional reporting by Wired and Amnesty International reveals exports to Pakistan, Ethiopia, and Kazakhstan, where it supports mass surveillance and lawful intercept systems.
All right. Okay. So, a couple things here. To me, this is not a story for, U.S. practitioners necessarily. We've long known about China's Great Firewall. The Chinese government has decided it's in the best interest of Chinese citizens for them to only be given access to information that the government of China deems appropriate for their citizens. So they are censoring at massive level. But in order to allow the Chinese population and the Chinese government and Chinese businesses the ability to, access the internet and use modern tooling in a reasonable way, you need to have like technology that works in high power, high end technology. Like basically, how many? I don't know. China has like 3 billion people, right? Let's just say. If you're going to have that many users on the internet hitting the the outside world or whatever, you can't have them going through like a straw as a choke point, right? Like you can't think about if you ever like been driven on the highway and like the toll booths and there's only like one toll booth open, or you're trying to go into a concert and there's only one person taking tickets, or you're trying to do anything. Like when they constrain you to a choke point, you start having performance issues, right? You can't get into the show fast enough. You have to stop and go before you can get through the toll booth. Your network traffic hangs and lags because you're waiting to get through. So for the Great Firewall to work, which it does, they need massive, massive infrastructure, okay? And that's just for, listen, it would be massive infrastructure just for routing all the traffic in and out of China. They are doing deep packet inspection, which means going into the data layer, right? So normally, really quick, I know some people like John Tran, like hate the OSI stack, but just bear with me here for the sake of this discussion. And this is a more kind of situation, all right? Little learn. When you're doing firewalls, right? A firewall is a simple, conceptually, it's simple. It basically is a choke point for data to pass through, and the data is either dropped or it's allowed to pass through, right? The firewall has to look at the traffic in order to make the determination if it's allowed through or if it's not allowed through. A simple firewall will only get up to the network layer or the transport layer to say, where are you going? Oh, you're from the internet and you're trying to access an internal resource. You're not allowed, dropped, right? This is a classic internet-facing firewall capability. You're coming from the outside in? No. You're coming from the inside out on port 7000? No. You're on the inside going out on port 443? Yes. Okay. Simple firewall. Well, the amount of compute power it takes to do that is, let's say, X. Okay. Now, you can go further up the OSI stack into the data layer because every packet has data in it, or most packets have data in it. So when you do that, the packet gets there and it's not just where are you going, but it's also what are you sending. Packets don't have all the data. The packets have to be reassembled at the receiver, which is why the TCP protocol is connection full, because the packets may not get there in order and you have to reassemble them in order and make sense of it. These firewalls are unpacking the data of this packets, reassembling it, looking at it, making decisions. That's an additional layer of effort and compute and storage, frankly, to not have it impede performance, right? I hope I'm hope I'm communicating this effectively. Like what they're doing, just take the censorship and the privacy invasion out of it. From a pure technical perspective, it is massive compute to take billions of people's data that's traversing through your network and unpack it, look at it, and then make a decision on it. It's huge. So they have accomplished that, and we've all known that for years. Well, they suffered a leak, okay, and they suffered a leak, and the data got out, source code, etc. What I find interesting is that basically this company is selling this as a service. Effectively, they say it's great firewall in a box, and they're selling it to countries that are pushing authoritative regimes. Myanmar, to name one. They say Pakistan in here. I don't know Pakistan's government situation or whatever, but clearly they're using it as a case study on like, oh, if you would like to manage your federal network traffic in a similar way to the way that China has approached it, we've got a solution for that. You know, it's on Amazon Prime. Get it 20% and have it delivered by this afternoon. I'm being playful. Sure, why not? Why not? Discord just closed by itself. Why not? Dude, what is going on today? For real. Guys, the final thing is there's nothing for you as a practitioner really to worry about. As a, internet citizen, you may want to be mindful of this because it's clearly, it's growing a bit.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, Drata. Leading security teams trust SafeBase by Drata to turn trust into a growth engine.
Oh my God.
Their enterprise-grade trust center puts your security posture in one secure customer-facing portal, giving buyers instant visibility into your company's continuous controls, certifications, and policies. With AI-powered questionnaire assistance, blast through inbound security questionnaires in minutes instead of days. Automate cross-functional workflows and eliminate friction. This means less manual work and faster deal cycles. Win with trust. Learn more at safebase.io. That is SAFEBASE.io.
All right. Yes. And for the OSI model, I agree. Whenever I teach, I always just say, like, ignore the top 3 layers. It's a model that makes it easy to explain to people. All right, let's do this. Let's see if this works today. All right, guys, holler at you. Thank you for being here. We are at the mid-roll. I am having a tough morning, guys. I don't know what it is. And honestly, guys, I don't know if you can vibe with me. I try to bring positivity. I slept good. I had a great weekend. I had a pot of coffee. My health is back mostly. Like, I feel good. Like, all things are pointing up, right? Everything's coming up Millhouse here. And the show this morning is just kind of like running into problems left, right, and center. So I don't know, but we're going to keep pushing through. Thank you to the stream sponsors, Barricade, Delete Me, Anti-Siphon, and Threat Locker. Every single day of the week has a special segment. And here, you can see I'm in my OneDrive right now. And Mondays is Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week. Do we have that here? There's Dan. Oh, here it is. Oh, I can't preview it. Sure, why not? Malware detected. Malware detected. See what I'm saying, guys? Everything. This is not malware, okay? God damn it. All right, guys. Every single day of the week has a special segment, and Mondays is Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week presented by Threat Locker. It allows me to, sure, why not? Why not? It allows me to, Threat Locker takes an application deny by default approach to cybersecurity, just like it takes a village and patience to run Simply Cyber's daily cyber threat brief. So I like to feature one member of the community every single day. And today I would like to recognize Mike Holcomb. Guys, Mike Holcomb out of Greenville, South Carolina. This guy is just an absolute delight. He's really big on OT ICS. He has tons of free resources. He has his own community and whatnot, but he does recognize as Simply Cyber, and I'm so grateful to have met him up in Columbia, and I'm excited about going to B-Sides Greenville in 2 weeks to keynote the conference that he runs. So he is a community member, if you will. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Holcomb. All right, let's go ahead and get to the Law's office here. Let's go. Thank you, Mike. All right. No, I'm fine. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate the good words. It's just, I mean, I'm cool. I'm not like losing my mind here. It's just, it's crazy how sometimes it's just, I can't explain it, dude. It's like, it's things out of my control, but they're all happening together at the same time. All right, let's continue and finish strong, everyone.
Cyber attacks against schools driven by a rise in student hackers, says UK agencies. The United Kingdom's Information Commissioner's Office, ICO, warned on Thursday that, quote, student hackers motivated by dares are driving an increasing number of cyber attacks and data breaches affecting schools, end quote. The agency said it identified, quote, a worrying pattern, end quote, in the 215 insider threat breach reports from the education sector between January 2022 and August 2024, with 57% of incidents caused by students who are likely motivated by dares, notoriety, financial gain, revenge, and rivalries. The UK's National Crime Agency believes that 1 out of every 5 children in Britain aged between 10 and 16 has engaged in illegal activity online. The 215 breaches described by the ICO in the education sector were caused by what was described as, quote, poor data protection practices, including staff accessing data without a legitimate need, by devices being left unattended, or by students being allowed to use staff devices, end quote.
All right. So, I mean, this is, I don't know, man, not exactly the same, but this is similar to like the way that the United States was in 1994, 1993, except, I mean, there's a lot of parallels, right? You had young, curious, tech-savvy individuals. Back then, though, like the tech-forward people were kind of, things were less accepting back then. Like, go watch the movie Revenge of the Nerds, and you'll kind of see that, or The Breakfast Club. Like, there were kind of these classes, if you will, and being nerdy, being geeky, being whatever was not considered cool. It is very cool now, but you're almost kind of retreated into your home or whatever, and because you weren't doing sports or whatnot, and you would hack on all the things, right? So now, here we go, 2025. We've got this push with social media being able to disseminate information. My keynote at Wild West Hackin' Fest last year was about how we live in the golden age of cybersecurity education resources. So these children, with the motivation, can easily get access to knowledge. And honestly, guys, remember, kids, their brains aren't fully developed. And this isn't a critique of children, just like the way the human body works. Your brain is still developing up until you're about 24, 25 years old. Again, I was a kid. All of us at some point were young. And if you're still young, guess what? You're young, right? You remember, like, you learn something, you figure something out, you want to use it for like how you can benefit from it, right? If you can, like, and most kids don't have access to money. My kid wants to buy like a $2,000 electric bike right now. He can't he doesn't have $2,000. And whenever he tries to save money, he'll get a couple $100 and then he'll instantly like spend it on something, right? And he's like, so the reason I make that point is because wanting something that costs money and not having access to finances or credit or anything like that leads you to, basically, what are my options? Oh, I could do this thing and get something for free, right? Not necessarily steal, but there's a reason that people download cracked versions of RuneScape or cracked versions of, Battlefield 6 or whatever. Insert name here, right? Dude, I'll tell you, even like one of my sons, right? Like I find that he hangs out with his friends, but they do it on Roblox, right? Like they hang out, they do things, but they're doing it in this kind of like, alternative world, right? So my whole point with that is that there is knowledge share going on. Kids are more tech forward now than ever, and they would be motivated and incentivized to do dumb stuff like this, right? So what I would say is, honestly, I know this is going to sound like a boring, out of touch old man suggestion, but I think that these kids, like almost like a keto, they don't need to be stopped. They need to be channeled into a direction where they can utilize this information, understand good from bad, and like grow upon it, right? Like seriously, if they're already demonstrating interest and they're already demonstrating capability to be successful at it, why wouldn't you want to harness that, nurture it, and guide it into the right direction instead of stifling it? I will say stifling it is a lot easier, but nurturing it and growing it pays bigger dividends. So, yeah, be on the lookout. And by the way, as a practitioner, what you should know about this, and this doesn't just apply to UK citizens. So Roswell, UK, obviously you're right there, but this applies to everybody because a 14-year-old trying to do something doesn't care. They're not going to be like, well, this is a US-based situation, I'm going to go ahead. Like the geographical boundaries don't matter anymore. A 14-year-old can reach out and touch a business in San Diego, California, as easy as they can touch something in Staffordshire, UK. And I don't even know if that's a real place, but it sounds very real, right? Geographical boundaries don't matter anymore. So your threat landscape is increasing. GRC Mafia people got to update the threat model. You're getting an increase in, hackers basically, but they are young. They will be following scripts. They will be, not as thorough and as effective, you would think, as more sophisticated professional cyber criminals, which just means they might be less likely to be effective. They could be sloppier, but at the end of the day, you're going to have increased attacks. So be careful. All right. Staffordshire is real. Woo! I might be turning the corner on today.
French tech company reveals critical vulnerability. CISA has issued a warning regarding the ongoing exploitation of a critical remote code execution flaw in Delmia Aprizo, which is a joint manufacturing operations management and manufacturing execution solution from the French company Dassault, that is Dassault. The vulnerability has a CVE number and a critical severity score of 9.0. Enterprises across a wide range of industries around the world use Delmia Aprizo, quote, to schedule production, for quality management, to allocate resources, to deal with warehouse management, and for integration between production equipment and business applications, end quote. FBI.
All right. Let's see. Hold on one second. Oh, Johan Ulrich. This guy, we don't talk about him very often. This guy has been like the voice of Sans Stormcast for ever. Where is he? Can we see him? Oh, I can't. Well, that's too bad. Yeah, Johan Ulrich. Who hasn't heard this man's voice, right? Like, I feel like it's like a rite of passage to hear this guy's voice on the Sans Internet Stormcast. All right, so here's the deal. If you are running this Delmia Aprizo which would be used in manufacturing operations. And it doesn't matter if it's automotive, aerospace, electronics, high tech, industrial, wherever. It is definitely a enterprise grade application that's used for serious business. If you're running it, you are at risk of quite serious exploitation, as it's being actively exploited in the wild. What happens if it gets exploited? They say it's a critical RCE, which is not good. Critical meaning 9.0 or higher on 10 CBSS scoring. Okay. The flaws of deserialization of untrusted data. All right. So basically, it's not doing input validation on something. It doesn't get into the details here of how it works. So here we go. Malicious SOAP requests. Oh man, I remember doing SOAP programming. This is like SOAP was like the original API like a million years ago. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but like I remember using SOAP when I was a software developer. All right. You could see here that threat actors are using automated scans to look for this. So this feels like a thing that wouldn't be internet facing, but what I would strongly recommend that you either use Shodan.io to look at your internet facing IP range and see if, I think SOAP's an acronym, by the way. I think it's Simple Object Access Protocol, maybe. Anyways, use Shodan to look at your internet facing IP range and see if you're running this particular solution that's internet facing. I don't know if this needs to be internet facing necessarily. It doesn't sound like something like when you're doing traceability, scheduling, performance, and all these other things, compliance, process management of your entire manufacturing infrastructure. To me, all day long, that does not sound like an internet-facing resource. So you could have a misconfigured, server. Certainly, this does happen. Networking teams accidentally do things. Application teams accidentally do things. You could have an instance where this Delmia Aprizo was updated over the weekend, and they forgot to reconfigure the firewall after they applied patches. Whatever. It's being actively exploited, guys. You gotta patch it. You gotta patch it.
Issues flash alert regarding Salesforce gangs. The flash alert is intended to, quote, disseminate indicators of compromise associated with the recent malicious cyber activities by cybercriminal groups UNC 6040 and UNC 6395, which are responsible for a rising number of data theft and extortion intrusions, end quote. These groups have been behind the numerous Salesforce-related scams that have occurred this year. The FBI, quote, advises organizations to strengthen defenses against cybercriminals targeting Salesforce and other systems. Recommended measures include training call center staff to recognize phishing attempts, enforcing MFA, and applying the principle of least privilege with AAA systems to limit user actions and to investigate and vet indicators prior to taking action, such as blocking, end quote. CISA.
All right. So, yeah, Salesforce data got compromised. It was tons of PII, right? So name, email, touch times, all that stuff. It was mostly CRM or customer resource information. Threat actors are using it as initial recon for social engineering attacks, okay? So they're targeting Salesforce users with phone scams, tricking employees into connecting malicious apps to their company accounts. This does not feel like it's associated with the Salesforce hack, okay? I just started talking about the Salesforce hack recently because that's what I thought this had to deal with. I don't think that is. And by the way, guys, I don't research or prep for the stories. I get them as you're getting them, okay? So the information that was stolen through the Salesforce drift or sales drift data, that does not seem to apply here. What they're doing is they are finding people that are using Salesforce, which is a lot, And then they're trying to trick them into installing malicious apps on their devices that then lets them steal customer databases, which they use for extortion. Okay? If this is their goal, is stealing the data for extortion of customers, then I'm sorry, I'm kind of going back and forth. This is a tough day for me, guys. The data they did get from that data breach could be used this way. But basically that's what they're doing. They're extorting their victims' customers. That's it. I don't know exactly what you'd be extorting them for, honestly, because like, okay, you know that I have Google Workspaces. You know that I don't know what would they be extorting them with. They pose as IT support. They trick call center employees into sharing creds. They bypass MFA, and then they exfil data. All right. So here's the deal. Number one, this is probably the most important one. You have to educate your workforce, or you have to educate your workforce of these attack techniques that these threat actors are using. Okay, education is huge in this one. Listen, this is what they'll do. They'll send, like, let me pick. Mental Edge is in chat right now. Mental Edge. Okay, so I get a data dump of Simply, like, let's say Simply Cyber collected all your information and I stored it in Salesforce or whatever, right? And they want it. So they'll get someone's email address that works here, right? Say Mental Edge works here. And they'll send like 150, 200 emails to Mental Edge. Okay. So Mental Edge or victim is just seeing a bunch of emails come in. This is anomalous. Okay. This is weird. Why am I getting all these emails all of a sudden? This is weird. Okay. Then they will call you. Now you're on the phone with a criminal and you don't know. And they say, hey, what's up? This is Bob. I'm with IT. Have you been receiving an unusual amount of emails? Yes, I have. So now the victim believes that what they are talking to is IT, and it makes sense because how else would they know that you're receiving all these emails? Yes, okay. We're trying to work through it right now. It seems like your email account has been compromised. Again, this is ridiculous to practitioners like you and I, but to a normal person who works in like marketing or accounts payable, they don't know. Looks like your email account's been compromised. We're going to have to reset the credentials. All right. Let me log into your email really quick, or install this remote management solution really quickly. And let me help you get sorted out. All right. I want these emails to stop. Boom. So they send you the 500 emails and then they tell you they're from IT support trying to help you deal with this compromised email account. And then they've got you. Educate your end users that is an attack technique of these victims. Also, they'll spam you with like fake login attempts or login attempts, right? And then they'll say, hey, it looks like a criminal. Basically, they're pretending to be IT. You have to have some type of validation or verification, or tell your end users that they need to call back support using a phone number that they know, not the one that the person on the phone tells them. And do that way, okay? Hey, really quickly, we've got a wrecking ball message here. J Warrior 7X team replay here. Thanks for jumping on the live though with us. Been following the channel for the past year. I start my first cyber job as an IT security engineer today. I came in like a wrecking ball. Hell yeah, man! Way to go, J Warrior 7X. Thank you for taking the time to jump on and share that note with us. Congratulations. Super pumped for you. Reminder, I have a video on the channel on how to absolutely destroy your first 90 days at your new job. Please take advantage of that. So anyways, guys, for real, you got to educate your end users or else threat actors are going to get in there by exploiting trust.
It's control over CVE. CISA has published a 2-page summary of its vision for the future of the CVE. According to Nicholas Anderson, CISA's new Executive Assistant Director for Cybersecurity, the CVE's desire, through its board of directors, to, quote, transition to a non-profit entity with true international coordination, rigorous and transparent governance, and multiple funding sources from public, private, and non-profit organizations, end quote, does not sit well with CISA, who foresees conflicts of interest with that model. This, he says, quote, reinforces the need for CISA to take a more active role in the long-term stewardship of the CVE program, end quote. If you have some thoughts on the news.
All right. So I don't fully understand this, but basically earlier this year, funding for the CVE program almost lapsed. Like John Hammond made a video. I lost my mind. Many practitioners in the space lost their mind around this. So now there's a new vision of what this could look like. And I think it's really supposed to accommodate resiliency. So, basically we had like a near miss, right? We almost lost the CVE program and it scared a lot of people. So what they're trying to do is, how can we prevent this from happening in the future? I think it's phenomenal, right? This is called lessons learned. Dude, we could learn something from this. As a practitioner, when you have a bad event or a near bad event happen, taking time to say, how can we be better next time is huge. A lot of organizations don't do it though. They just move on to the next thing and, are destined to repeat it. CISA doesn't like the idea of giving it up, right? Got to tell you guys, people with power like to keep power. I mean, I've been fine with CISA having it. I don't care. To me, as long as it continues to deliver, I don't see a conflict of interest. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like for a hot minute when it was going to go away, Europe was like ready to stand in and start a whole new program. So for me, we're all trying to like do good work and patch things and protect.
You gotta patch
If CISA wants to handle it, fine. If not, fine. This, to me, this is like, what is this like? This to me is like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm fine with it. I don't care one way or the other. I'd have to read CISA's 2-page summary on why they think this is a terrible idea, but just continue to fund it and continue to deliver value to cyber practitioners so we can make informed choices on how we spend our resources. That's it. All right, everyone. All right, guys. I do want to say thank you to all of you. Get my OneDrive. See if this says it's malicious. Oh, I don't even have. Oh, here it is. Is this malicious? Oh, malware detected. All right, guys. Hey, shout out to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Today was Monday, September 15th, 2025, episode 962, although we're going to fact check that. J Warrior 7X crushing it. I hope everybody has a great day. And honestly, if you're having a tough day, just know other people are having a tough day too. This was a rough stream for me. Thank you for being awesome, Simply Cyber community. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be pivoting over to JawJack in a 30-minute AMA where I will try to give you as many answers as I possibly can. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Until next time, stay secure. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the party. Ooh. Got it. I'm not going to lie, guys. You get the good, you get the bad. Some days it's smooth as butter, and some days it's like sand in your shorts at the beach. All right. But the mission is serving you. I am Jerry Guy. This is a 30-minute show. I want to serve you. So tell me, what questions do you have and how can I help you? Let's cook This is jaw-jacking. I'm going to check really quick. I don't even know if we have Simply Defensive today. I'm behind on that, too. I've got to get metrics for everybody. Let's see. I think we have the season finale of Simply Defensive today. We certainly do. Why most threat intel fails? Oh, my gosh. Did you know why most threat intelligence fails? Check this out. Boom, baby. Wade Wells, Josh Mason, season 4, episode 8, final episode. We're going to cook. We're going to cook. All right. Let's see your questions. Waiting. All right. Hey, Jenny. Be well. Just a reminder, everybody, Simply CyberCon is happening November 2nd and 3rd. There's still time to register. We have training. We have OSINT training with Michelle Kahn. Blue Team training with Hayden Covington from Black Hills. Red Team training with Chris Trainer from Black Hills. And GRC training with Steve McMichael. And then obviously we have a full day of 2 talk tracks, chill out room. Lots of fun activities, guys. It will be amazing. Go to simplycybercon.org if you're interested. Also, I've got to get better at telling you all this, but we have a room block at the Marriott where the conference is being held. The reduced rates for everybody expires on October 2nd. So if you're going to get a hotel room at the reduced rate at the conference location, you have to use the link on the Simply CyberCon website to register and get that discount. All right. So Stones fan, my man Stones fan, had the opportunity to spend time with him. Oh my God. Please, computer. All right. First question I saw in here. Give me a second. I just want to dude. If it wasn't for you guys, I would absolutely just curl up and go to bed and wake up at 10 a.m. start over. Stones fan, should I do CISA before CSUM? Well, it depends on what your goals are, Rob. So I think naturally in the career progression, CISA would come before CSUM. But basically CISA is good, which is the Certified Information Security Auditor. It is great if you want to be an auditor or if you want to break into GRC. Audit is a great initial role to do. CISM is Certified Information Security Manager. This is if you want to get into management, if you want to be Director of Information Security, if you want to be a senior GRC professional, that's where you go and get that one. Your code is strong. What's the best way to prep for CISSP? For me personally, the way I prepare for any certification, your code is strong, is to take a practice exam, which will take a while. The CISSP is broken across, it used to be 8 domains. I don't know how many it is today, but it's broken up into different domains, right? So here's my strategy for any cert. Take a practice exam to baseline where I am, but specifically look at every domain. Am I getting a 90 or higher in one domain versus another? Well, then I don't really want to focus on that one domain. This is basically hacking my strategy, right? So then for the domains that I'm not good at, say I got a 20 on the cryptography domain, I would then get a book. I like the study guide books. I would just read the domain knowledge around that one. And then I would make flashcards around key terminology, key concepts, and I would practice on the flashcards for a couple days. Then I would take a practice exam, but only the domains that I struggled in to see if I can get it up and going. Rinse and repeat. Once I get the domains that I sucked at pretty good, then I would take another practice exam, full practice exam, and see how I perform. And then I would rinse and repeat that until I got a 90 or higher on the exam, and then I'd go sit for the CISP. That's what I would do. That's what I've always done for those exams. I do not know how many people are registered for Simply CyberCon at this time. I can certainly find out, though. I am ridiculously busy. I'm ridiculously busy right now, unfortunately. I have to do multi-factor authentication to log into the ticketing system, Cyber Risk Switch, and I can't really do that on stream right now. I'll let you know tomorrow. How to get better at Stego, crypto, reversing, like Meta CTS. I mean, those are like very specific challenges, so just practicing on them. Reverse engineering is actually a discipline within the industry, so you could actually learn and study reversing. I wouldn't necessarily target like, oh, how do I reverse this binary to win a CTF? I would like learn reversing techniques. You can look at, there's a lot of information out there, Straw Hat Sec, on reversing techniques, like bin walk is a popular one to unpack firmwares in IoT devices. That's a fun one. Daniel Lowry has a great hardware hacking one that you can get. You can download firmwares and binaries, off the internet all over the place and play with them. You can also grab Windows executables and open them up in IDA or Ghidra if you're more modern, and look at them and then follow along with some challenges that are set up. You know what I mean? Like basically what I would say is I would find some reverse engineering learning, hands-on learning, and then get the binaries and follow along with the learning, and then try to do some of the learning things you did on a binary that's unrelated to the learning, just to see what you can get. As far as crypto and Stego go, I mean, steganography is just a technique. So like, you could play with a steg hide or something like that, but I wouldn't say getting better at Stego is really a thing. It's just, it's like knowing how to use a padlock. Like once you learn how to use a padlock, it's not something you would learn. Reversing is a skill that you develop. All right. What's your typical day-to-day routine in GRC exactly? Well, so I love saying I got a video for that, but I've got a better answer for that. Kishin InfoSec. Look at this. I have an entire micro course for that. So look at this really quickly. GRC Foundations for Modern Cybersecurity. Now, this does say $20, but if you use this code right here, GRC Jumpstart 0, you'll get it for free. So Kishin InfoSec, take this class for free. But basically, this class right here, I made this class. It's like, I don't know, you can rip through it in like 2 hours. Literally, it's a sit-down cup of coffee with me where I explain what a day-to-day looks like for this job, what sucks about the job, what's great about the job, whether or not you'd even really want to work in GRC. I answer all those questions in this particular class. Again, you can take it for free. So, I mean, I can answer your question, but I like literally made a whole like micro course around answering that question. Just so I don't leave you hanging, Kishin InfoSec. It's a lot, start the morning, threat intelligence, see what's going on, inform, get updated. Maybe you're doing vulnerability management, look at those things, check on, status of patches, status of migration, status of sunsetting systems, meetings. Maybe you do some awareness training, content development, hop on a call with vendors and do third-party risk stuff. Like GRC isn't like, I wouldn't say day-to-day has a typical vibe. It might be like, what are some typical activities you would expect to do in a month? That's more what I would say. David T says, I've had a hiatus from the cyber community and have just returned. Do you have a recommendation on how to revisit and strengthen topics? I mean, that's kind of broad, David. So I don't know if you need to, I don't know if you mean like practitioners and YouTube channels and like getting revisited on that, or fundamentals. So I don't, you'll have to be more specific, David. I don't know like what you're asking to revisit. Like, are you asking how to revisit like cyber fundamentals, GRC stuff, YouTube channels, personalities? David T, qualify that, please. Cyber Risk Witch, advice for starting a cyber intel unit in a company that doesn't think they need one. Ooh, okay, go on. I mean, certainly Cyber Risk Witch, getting access to free cyber threat intel would be preferential first, so you're not burdening the business with a budget request for something that they don't think they need. Once you join ISACs, get some access to threat intelligence feeds if you can. Alien Vault's got one, right? CISA, KEVs, etc. And then you can start informing basically high risk situations at your business. Like say like earlier today, Cyber Risk Witch, I know you were at the daily cyber threat brief. There was this story about not this one. Dude, where is it? This day, man, this day is brutal. There was a story today around, okay, here. This French tech company, Dassault RCE, this piece of technology has like a really gross remote code execution thing, and it can really hose you, but it's very specific to certain industries. So let's just pretend, Cyber Risk Witch, that you have this piece of technology in your environment and it's internet facing, which would be awful, okay? You can use that. You can use even this, dude. Like, look at this, everything, even things that are wildly out of my control are fucked up today. You could say, hey, listen, based on current threat intelligence, we have an increased likelihood of an attack on our Dassault, our Armis enterprise solution. It is internet facing, which is increases the likelihood. We have threat intelligence suggesting that it's actively being scanned. Recommendation is that we prioritize, either patching it or increasing detection on the server itself for compromise, like whatever. What I would say though, Cyber Risk Witch, is that constantly point out that you're making your decisions and you're being informed on the dynamic elements of your threat model based on threat intelligence. Like show the value of the threat intelligence to your leadership, so then when you come in for budget, you can say, hey, listen, we've been doing this on a shoestring budget now, but hey, there's platforms like Flare that for $100 a month we can get deeper insights and understand when systems are compromised in our environment, right? Code Brew's making the joke, these day in the life videos. I actually have a video on the channel, day in the life, GRC, Simply Cyber. It's funny, people busted my chops because the audio wasn't great on it. The audio wasn't good on it. Hey, welcome back to the channel. So you see all these but this is the video right here. I actually use the word poppycock, which is a lot of people love when I said poppycock. Oh my god! So Kishin InfoSec. Let me here's a note. This is a YouTube video, day in the life. Okay. And I basically point out that the idea of going and getting Starbucks twice, going to lunch early, leaving work early, checking emails, like the hardest thing you have to do. A lot of influencers will pitch it that way, and it's just absolutely not true. All right, continuing. Sierra Montgomery, please feel better. Are all providers of certifications equal, or are some companies seen as better? Cyber Cadet. Yes, all providers of certifications are not created equal. Okay? And I don't want to besmirch one company over another. So all I will say is this, and I mean, if you catch me at a conference, I will tell you much more of my opinions of what certification bodies I trust and which ones I think are not good. I mean, certainly if you are a certification body that's been repeatedly accused of plagiarism and with the receipts being shown, I certainly would not like that certification body, you know, if someone did that. But remember, everybody, including Cyber Cadet, like any business can create a certification. Like I would love to create a GRC, entry-level GRC certification for Simply Cyber Academy. It's a lot of work and I don't have the bandwidth to do it right now, but all it takes is time and money to create one. So by virtue of that, they are definitely not all created equal. Now, personally, I like ISACA. I think that they have high integrity over their certs. I let my ISACA certs expire, but after a certain point in your career, you really don't need certifications anymore. So I'll just leave it as that. Reverend Dr. Timothy, PhD. A lot of oh my God, a lot of labels there. Asking how to get it for free. You have to use the code GRC Jumpstart 0. It's right in the description of the course itself. Reverend Dr. Timothy Johnson, PhD. All right. All right, here we go. Tony Jack, not even a question, but says he considers himself a GRC dude. Heck yeah. Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Lala over on LinkedIn says, how do I get GRC experience without job without prior experience? You can get practical experience, Lala. Again, in full disclosure, this is a revenue generating thing for me. So I just, I don't want to misrepresent this. And I'm not doing this just to make money, but like literally my GRC analyst masterclass, people have gotten jobs from this. Like literally this class has you do practical hands-on labs in GRC. So you can definitely get experience. The trick is you have to get practical experience via labs and hands-on things. I can't message over to LinkedIn either, Lala, so you'll just have to look for Definitive GRC Analyst Masterclass. Also, I want to point out to everybody, GRC Portfolio, Simply Cyber. I have a YouTube video on 3 ways that you can develop a portfolio, how to stand out with GRC labs. So not only can you get some practical experience, but you can also showcase it in a portfolio, because you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to demonstrate the value of the knowledge you've learned to get the job, okay? By the way, thank you guys very much. I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's in my head, but I feel like the questions are very, I don't know. Like I had a rough daily cyber threat brief stream, and these questions feel very soft and easy for me to answer. So thank you. I don't know if you guys did that on purpose or not, but it feels nice. Yes. Good morning, Christina Paulika, aka the librarian in the house. Mary Ellen Kennel for reversing. She says, recommend John Hammond's Pico CTF full walkthrough. She'll post the playlist. Thank you, Mary Ellen. For everybody's benefit, I will actually do John Hammond Pico CTF full walkthrough. Let's see. I assume this is the one, Mary Ellen. Let me know if it's wrong, but this looks like it. Oh, that's a David Bombal video. Yeah, is this it, Mary Ellen Kennel? Let me know. I'll leave it up for 20 seconds until I can see. But if this is it, I'll share this with the chat. I don't know if you can drop links. That's why I'm asking. Daniel Chateau uses Flare regularly and loves it. Yep, I like Flare quite a bit right now. All right. Let's keep going here. All right. Just saw that Jen Easterly will be on in Charleston, October 7th through 9th for the HIP conference. Devin McCarthy. Stop. Hold on. I don't want to pull my calendar up, but let me see where I am October 7th through 9th. That's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I am out. I'm going to Wild West Hackin' Fest on the 8th and 9th, but I am around the 7th. I'm not saying I'm going to stalk or hunt her down, but, you know, it'd be kind of cool. All right, so Mary Ellen Kennel says this is similar. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a link to this in chat. Also, if you didn't know, John Hammond is awesome. Great guy, great content, a definite must follow if you're not following him on YouTube. Thank you, Devin. Who's the CEO of Huntress? I don't know his name. I think it's Matt. I've heard he's a really great guy, though. Let's see. Kyle Hansloven. So I was not close. All right, let's go. How are we doing on time here? All right, it's going to start shortly. Guys, I want to say thank you. I feel like personally, I feel like I recovered. Keishan says, where would someone be able to reach out to volunteer to help with random stuff that clogs up your schedule? Oh, thank you, Keishan InfoSec. I'm working on that right now. Been trying to work on delegation. So I don't have an answer for that yet. How useful is Try Hack Me SOC Simulator? I have played with it. I think it's actually pretty cool. It's got real looking data in there. As far as its efficacy for breaking in, I can't answer to that. But if anyone in chat has an answer, let me know about that. Oh, David T with the follow-up here. Great way to end the show. Do you have any recommendations on how to revisit and level up my cyber skills? Yeah, I mean, David T, try Hack Me. Do a couple CTFs. You know what I mean? Maybe take a Sec Plus practice exam. Just not really to go get the Sec Plus, but just to revisit and identify where you're strong and where you're weak, and then focus on that. Welcome back to the party. All right, guys, let's go. This is season 4, episode 8, final. I can't believe it's already season 4, final of Simply Defensive. Let's go ahead and raid over there. I'm Jerry, having one hell of a day. I'll see you guys over in the Simply Defensive. Until next time, stay secure. Thank you all so very much. Bye.